In fact, unlike Torquay United, who've only taken 1 point on their travels in the 3rd division. So we've got a team that can't win at home against a team that can't win away.
Yeah, see Farnborough again, just a little bit of width needed here. There's going to be a lot of onus on the full-backs to get forward. With that free tight in midfield, they need to pass the ball about and then spread it. But there's no one on the wide at the moment.
Brian Broom, the midfield trio. Keith Baker's pass went straight to Mickey Holmes, who again was realising the percentage and getting the ball out onto that left-hand side for Torquay. Hall. And he was caught by Keith Baker. There's quite a contrast in ages here. Hall is 19, and Baker, who fouled him then, is 36. It was a pretty even contest in the first game, I must say. But Hall was a bit too quick for Keith Baker then. The outcome, this free kick. It's not particularly well delivered by Dobbins. Well, certainly Farnborough have changed their style to try and catch Torquay out by involving Mick Doherty, the number 7. Coming on from midfield just like this. As Dean Coney used his strength in the air. And they haven't been able to impose their style as yet, as Tony Gale has been pointing out, but this was the first chance, really.
Yes, it was a bit unlucky. There's the route one there. But again, you know, I think they just need to get it down. Dean Coney, his strength is holding the ball up and involving other players in the play. They haven't really got the ball into his feet yet.
We look for Doherty here. Mick Doherty has an interesting life. He lives and works in Liverpool and travels down here for matches. He actually works for Everton Football Club, doing their work in the community on Merseyside. He did play in the Football League back in the 82-83 season. He had one season with Reading alongside Kerry Dixon. Baker, who's a British Airways steward, and flies off to Zurich tomorrow morning. Grateful that the rosters have allowed him to play tonight. Sean Joyce doing the harassing in midfield unfairly. Free kick already taken by Farnborough after the foul by Joyce, and Jamie Horton, who's got a trick or two. And Torquay aware of that and provided some double cover on him. Coney showing if Baker can throw it into his path. Plenty of movement from Farnborough. Anticipated by Joyce. "11 minutes gone. The second round replay in the FA Cup. And it's Farnborough Town 0, Torquay United 0. 1-1 the first game 10 days ago. And Farnborough on the verge of getting through. 3 minutes from the end, Mark Loram rescued Torquay United. Doherty. Holding by Simon Reed, who's the all-time leading scorer at Farnborough Town. Absolutely stupendous record, 176 goals. His best season, he got 53. And it's Reed, who's already got 18 this season, including the one at Plainmoor. But Gareth Howells was quickly off his line. Loram. Now Robotham. With Dobbins joining in. He's got a sharp mind, Keith Baker, who intercepted. Wes Saunders believes that Paul Hall can be a match winner for Torquay. throw was geared for Elliott. Elliott has stayed forward. Well, that's the essence of Keith Baker. They certainly joke about his age here, but very few opponents get past him. It's a throw to Torquay United.
Hold together, hold together.
And Dobbins has done well to get the cross in. In fact, Mickey Holmes moved in a little too smartly. I was talking about Farnborough's problems at home. They've lost 4 out of their 8 here in the conference, but won 8 out of 9 away. As for Torquay, 1 point from 9 away games in the 3rd division. They've only scored 3 goals on their travels, so they've really got to play above themselves, even against part-time opponents tonight. And they have to do it against a background of financial disorder at the club. Wes Saunders has taken over this season after John Impey had guided Torquay to promotion via the playoff route at Wembley, of course, last May, which is a great evening for the club. They beat Blackpool there via a penalty shootout. Hall. It's a good early cross. Loram, who often plays deeper than he's been asked to do tonight, moving in at the near post. Here's Horton. Brew. And space for Stemp here. Farnborough getting players into the centre, but the ball played down the channel for Reed, and he's got close enough to it to earn Farnborough a corner. Mick Doherty's gone across to take it. The tall Jim Wigmore, the captain, going right in on the goal line. And Coney waiting by the near post as well. Doherty's ball, and it's a weak one, I'm afraid. Disappointing, Tony.
It is. Well, to get in a situation like that, and the delivery has to be right. You know, they was all waiting on the near post there, the little flick, and the delivery's wrong, and it's wasted. But you know, they've still got to settle, and it looks like it could be a good game.
And Howell's not able to take the goal kicks because of this accident today. Hall. He's quickly recovered. Now Mickey Holmes. Colcom. Paul Holmes with a cross. Wigmore fighting for it. Colcom! Well, it came quite kindly to him.
It was just a little bit in front of him. He just couldn't get over that. He needed to get his body a little bit further forward. You see it here? He just needed to get over it. Just a snapshot. Half chance there.
Scott Colcom has passed his 20th birthday since the first match between these two sides. He's a product of West Bromwich Albion and earned a contract here after some trials with Torquay in the summer. Still looking for his first senior goal, and it might have arrived then. Compton putting Coney on the deck. And off the ball, there was also a shove on Horton, which the referee didn't see, but maybe an indication of some Torquay nerves. Doherty to take the free kick. He hopes with a bit more perception than his recent corner. Coney heads it back in. Wigmore trying to move in for the kill, and he did so with his arm up. There was an attempt to go for the ball, but let's just take the moment to wish John Uzel all the very best for a full recovery. We know he's watching down in Torquay tonight. And although, of course, I can't ask Tony Gale to comment on the incident last Saturday, I'm sure he has a view as a defender of the stray elbows that forwards sometimes use.
I've been a sufferer of a few broken noses from stray elbows, and you know, I'd like to think they were accidents. Teddy Sheringham a couple of years ago for Millwall, complete accident, broke it in 2 places. But I think that most of all they are accidents. You know, I can't obviously comment on the incident with John, but you know, we wish him well.
"19 minutes gone, and you do feel that the first goal will be important here. It could really fire up Farnborough, who are understandably, and I think Ted Pearce might bear it out, feeling perhaps the pressure of this high-profile occasion for them. There have been some encouraging signs for Torquay United, who badly need the financial injection of reaching the 3rd round. They've never gone beyond the 4th in their history, and of course they last reached it 2 years ago when they played West Ham. Went out in the end to Blackpool. And Wigmore, who came through the back of Loram then, and is getting a talking to.
Oh, complete accident.
You're a member of the Defenders Union.
I think Dave Webb knows all about them accidents.
Well, it's difficult enough getting a side together week in, week out for Wes Saunders. He could ill afford a serious problem for Mark Loram, who's done very well to stay in the professional game. Like Gary Mabbott, Mark Loram suffers from diabetes. But what a goal he struck to get Torquay out of a very sticky situation against Farnborough.
Saw it on the TV, it was a great strike, wasn't it?
Poor John Power in the Farnborough goal accepted the inevitable. He didn't even dive for it. It just flew in, hit with that very talented left foot.
That's when you turn around and blame your defenders then.
Coney coming back to defend. Dean Coney's been out in the Far East, but he can't play full-time league football anymore, even if the medical side of his problem was solved, because he's taken the insurance money.
A few set pieces starting to happen in the game, you know, and you feel that really a goal's going to come from a set piece, because general play, nothing really's happened, you know, but these set pieces look a bit dangerous.
Certainly Elliott to the fore in that respect. He got to it, Colcombe heads it on, and the Farnborough had enough bodies back to block it, with Darren Rowbotham right in there. Cut out well by Baker. That really was the most threatening moment so far.
And a little flick on at the near post there, he done very well. Bit unfortunate, yeah, a bit unfortunate. Torquay beginning to get on top there.
Compton, that's well tussled by Coney, but it breaks for Dobbins. Coney having a look to see what was on for the layoff. And Reid is offside from Horton's ball. But Coney set it up by feinting to look to the left and just knocking it off to his right.
That's right, that's what Dean's good at. You know, if they can get the ball up to his feet and the midfield players running beyond him, they'll cause Torquay problems. But so far, Torquay look quite comfortable.
Hall with a race with Baker, who matched him.
Here we go. It'll be interesting to see if they go for the near post again. Farnborough have been putting one in front of the on the near post, one in front marking and one behind, but they still haven't managed to prevent the ball getting in. So it'd be interesting if you switch it here or go for another one.
Here's the target, Matthew Elliott. And it is deeper that time. And
Perhaps
Paul
should have gone to
Compton.
the near post, eh?
Elliott's had a terrific time with Torquay over the last couple of seasons or so, since being signed from Charlton. He's quite a local lad, comes from Epsom in the Surrey area, not too far away from here. Elliott's staying forward. He's popped in some very important goals for Torquay, and they know how to cover him at the back to give him the license to do that. And if there is a marketable commodity for Torquay United, if they do have to sell a player to make ends meet, Matthew Elliott is probably the one who would come into that category. That will be a free kick, even though Doherty sweeps the ball in with some style. There was a foul by Danny Holmes. I mentioned earlier that Wayne Stemp, the right-backs, on a long-term loan from Brighton. Well, Danny Holmes is contracted to Bournemouth, and on a similar deal. Joyce. Cut out by Horton. And Sean Joyce, who's a tough, competitive character from Doncaster, saw a chance to win the ball then. Paul Holmes. Across comes Wigmore. So 20 minutes remaining in the first half. There's Dobbins. He might get the ball back here for the shot. Set up for him by Joyce.
Done very well. That's the beauty of the wide player as well, you see there. The wide player pulled out wide, so it enabled the full-back to knock it into the forward, follow it in and get the shot in. If the wide player wasn't there, then it wouldn't have stretched the defence.
And there does seem to be plenty of room on the flanks for Torquay to make an impact here and avoid the ignominy of going out of the FA Cup to non-league opposition, although it's a point that's been made already this evening. There really isn't a great deal of difference, perhaps in terms of talent, between the top part-time sides and the lower reaches of the Football League. There should be a degree of difference in fitness, given the ability to train together, and also in terms of tactical organisation, the extra time the full-timers have out on the training ground. Mickey Holmes really has been around the lower leagues. Row Botham's cross, and it's certainly an encouraging route for Torquay, the number of corners that they are forcing, and they lead by 5-1 in that respect. That's very relevant.
They're managing to get the ball into the feet in the box now, and that's very dangerous for Farnborough. Because Row Botham, obviously, he's a sharp turner, as he proved in the corner there. But they've got to get a little bit tighter, so they can't get the ball into their feet.
It's Mickey Holmes to take the corner, and they can play 2 against 1 here if they want it short. Farnborough have only sent Doherty out, but he's managed to win the ball back for them and get a goal kick. It was right in theory, I think, for Torquay then, but not in execution. Well, Eddie Hemmings is down on the touchline. Eddie, what's being said by the 2 benches so far?
Well, Wes Saunders, the Torquay boss, he keeps telling his players to keep their shape. The Torquay manager is a bit more animated early on than the boys from the non-league. Ted Pearce, for his part, he's telling his players to play their football. The phrase he's used to the Farnborough players is that they shouldn't club it.
Well, there's a more measured approach here, and Simon Reed cuts it back towards Brian Broom, who is a midfield player with an eye for goal. Broom has scored 100 goals for Farnborough, which is a very proud achievement. That completed his 100 recently. Paul Holmes with the extra responsibility tonight, switched to left back from right back to cover for John Uzel. and then having to take the goal kicks as well because of the more recent injury to Gareth Howells. Across comes Wigmore, who looks tall and angular, but is a very effective player in the centre of the Farnborough Town defence. I think we're allowed to play with two balls. One of the earlier ones that was lost being returned at an inappropriate moment.
Come on!
Well, Torquay United, I think, would be pretty happy with the way they've started the game. They've certainly fashioned the more dangerous moments. They've continually earned corners and free kicks. Andy Bye got to it. Wigmore provided the second line of defence. It's a brave challenge by Hall. And with the result that he was able to take on Baker and keep the pressure on Farnborough Town. This time it is the short one. Elliott gets to it.
Again, another good flick on there. I feel they've got to use that a little bit more. Elliott's particularly good in the air there, and having a few problems with him.
Andy Bye is marking him from behind, looking into the reinforced lights. And that was diligent defending from him.
So difficult to defend these situations, you know, because so often you're so concerned with marking the player, you get too tight and you end up flicking the ball on yourself. It's very difficult to defend the near post corner. Maybe the keeper can come out and help a little bit here.
And here he comes.
Here he is.
Gets a fist to it. Joyce retrieves it on the edge of the area. Farnborough a bit slow to push out. And Elliott going in forcefully and fairly with Andy Bye. And the ball just trickling to Power. Dobbins losing out. One back eagerly by Joyce. That's very much his game. Now Paul Hall coming on the inside. You just feel for Torquay United that they are dictating the tempo of the game. It's now time for them to augment their superiority by taking the lead. There's a variety this time. They've sent Elliott to the back post, and Compton as well. And Farnborough looking vulnerable again, Tony.
Yeah, as I said earlier, they haven't really settled. I mean, I was speaking to Alan Taylor before the game. He said they like to play a passing game. And Doherty in midfield, who plays just behind the strikers, is a playmaker, but they haven't really got him involved. I mean, the quality of ball up to Coney up front there has not been very good. You know, they haven't been playing to their strengths, which is important.
And they're playing a narrower game than Torquay. You can see at the moment there's nobody wide on the left for them. And Rowbotham got the ball initially from Bye, and Loram with that lovely left foot of his. And Power has saved it, and now is nudged down. He wanted to prevent a corner. That was maybe risky, maybe enterprising, and it's ended in his favour. But it was an excellent try from Mark Loram.
And a good save, a difficult one to deal with low down there. But you can sense a goal coming, but Torquay will be a little bit worried that they haven't scored after all their superiority. They're looking by far the better side.
Well, Andy Bye, his blushes spared here. He'd lost the ball, and Loram, well, it was right on target for the bottom corner until Power made a super save. He's an interesting man. He lived in London, and then in his early teenage years went and moved to the Republic of Ireland and played his first senior football in Limerick, and played in the European competitions with Limerick. Played against AZ67 Alkmaar of Holland, famous club. Not too many in the non-league scene have European experience, and
it's the long legs come out there. Got him out of a bit of trouble there. Telescopic leg.
It was Jim Wigmore, who played the ball back to Power. Coney has run it well. 4 up for Farnborough. And they almost operate a smash and grab act because much of the game has been staged so far in their half. But it's 0-0 with just over 33 minutes gone. On a night when there must be a definite outcome. Tony Gale and his West Ham teammates will know by the end of the evening who they'll play in the third round. And we're expecting Billy Bonds to be here tonight. I don't know whether he...
Yeah, Billy's here with Ronnie Boyce, casting an eye over the two teams.
Broom. That's going to need some sorting out. It is a free kick to Farnborough. Or is it? No, it's going to be a drop ball. That caught Wigmore out. And here's Doherty. Coney! Dean Coney! Farnborough have broken out of a period of defending and grabbed the lead here.
Isn't that the way, eh? Torquay have all the play, and then Farnborough just break away, and Dixie just puts that away well.
Well, you rehearse from free kicks, you rehearse from corners, but you never rehearse from drop balls. But that's what happened.
That's right, he just broke loose. And I thought he was offside for a moment, but there must have been someone playing him on.
It's Dean Coney's first goal for Farnborough Town in his third game for the club. And what a time to get it. Mick Doherty took the ball on in the first place. His shot deflected beautifully into Coney's stride. And I think you saw the pedigree of the player.
Yeah, it's very difficult to keep the ball down in that situation, but he got right over it. Smashed it in.
By, heading it on. Well, this is just what Torquay United must have feared. And they'd performed capably enough without getting a goal for their efforts, and now they're behind, and Farnborough have their tails up. There's a push by Rowbotham. Shoulder to shoulder.
Slight push.
On Jamie Horton. Doherty takes the free kick. And Farnborough committed 6 players in the penalty area, with Doherty making 7. They're a little bit outnumbered at the back here, but the pass from Paul Holmes wasn't incisive enough for Torquay. Well, Ted Pearce now has the cup upset. I suppose we must call it that because it is part-timers against full-timers, but the feeling at Farnborough over the past few days amongst the players, I know, was that they felt they were favourites to win. They haven't played like favourites up to now, but they lead. And it certainly would be a first for us on Sky Sports to have a live transmission of a non-league team knocking out a league club in the FA Cup. I can't recall it ever happening before on any other network. And it's a possibility, maybe now that Dean Coney has done his stuff, a probability. But he's loving it, and understandably so.
It's important now that Torquay don't panic and they just play the way they've been playing by getting it to their wide men.
Coney the target again. Here comes Brian Broom, but leaving it to Doherty. Doherty again. The thing about Dean Coney, when he was first showing as a fine young player in that excellent Fulham side, they used to say about him that he didn't score enough goals, that he was excellent and unselfish outside the penalty area. And he once had a terrible time, Tony, I think, when he went 4 or 5 months without a goal. But
that's right, but what people didn't realise, he was playing with a striker called Gordon Davis. He was probably one of the most prolific scorers Fulham ever had. And I think Dean was the making of Gordon.
Reed He's had no problems getting goals any time in his non-league career, chasing on them. Simon Reed, who has a career outside his income from Farnborough Town. He works in the computer department of one of the big 5 banks. Seven minutes to go to half-time. Farnborough Town of the GM Vauxhall Conference leading Torquay United of the 3rd Division by 1-0. And Farnborough in the FA Cup have never beaten a league side. They've certainly come close on a number of occasions. Most recently, they lost 2-1 to Fulham a couple of years ago. So the gauntlet thrown down to Torquay. Dobbins. Worked on by Lauren Colkin. Will he get there? Not quite, because John Power was brave. And he also kept his concentration, using the ball quickly initially to Danny Holmes. Here's Doherty. One back by Joyce. Very important for Torquay to maintain their appetite in midfield, where they were getting most of the possession. Loram angling the header. He hoped in behind Baker, but he had the speed on the turn. Well, it's not an enviable position for Wes Saunders. He's still in the caretaker category, in charge of Torquay. He's only 28, incidentally. Looks younger. And still has plenty of playing to do. But he's been kept out by a serious injury at the moment, which is at least giving him full attention for his job.